Hey. Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness, otherwise known as PNW. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and of course, Mr. Credential is just doing his thing. And, we wish him the best, and hopefully he's, dealing with what he has to deal with. But we all have to take a break and, handle our business, especially during this pandemic. So once again, you guys will be my co-host for this evening, and we will be talking about a few things. Mostly politics, because that's what I deal with. But of course, if you want to talk about some wellness stuff, we can talk about that. We can dibble and dabble in the wellness sector as well, because I have some things that kind of touch on mental health and wellness and where we are. But first, we want to get into some things. I definitely want to get into the Wayfair situation with the company Wayfair and some of their products being used to human traffic and smuggle people. So that was interesting that I'll definitely want to look into and talk about a little bit. We're definitely going to talk about, of course, as always, this wonderful president of ours and all the stuff that his administration is doing. And we're also going to talk about a few things that actually just popped up not too long ago. GOP congressman who got busted for voting 3 times using fake addresses each time he voted. So it's funny how, when they say the people that are always talking the most or questioning people about doing something are the ones doing it themselves. So that's funny. And, a host of other things. So let's get right into it. So first, we're going to talk about the Wayfair situation. So apparently, it was on TikTok, I believe. I don't use it, but my nieces and nephew and little cousins and all of them, they use it. It's an app where you can make like short or movies or whatever and kind of cut them off. So they have they were going through it and using and actually seeing that the SKU numbers and the names of the products were names of missing people of color. And the price for these particular cabinets were extremely high. Almost to say as if you bought the anywhere from like $12,000 to $14,000. And these are just like regular big size cabinets like you would see in a school classroom or something like that. And apparently when you hit when you cleared out, like, you went to make your purchase and you hit, I guess, the payment process, the name of the actual person would go in that first box. And people, did their, I guess they used either TikTok or did a video and actually went through the steps. Now, Wayfair has said it's a conspiracy theory, that this is not true, that they have no, they denied it actually on Friday, that they don't sell expensive furniture on its website as a front for human trafficking. A Rabbit user on Thursday posted a screen grab of the Wayfair website showing the armoire that costs 5 figures with the human traffic, like I said. And, Wayfair, of course, is denying it and saying that it's not true. I would like to know what you guys think. Hey, I don't put it past anybody. I mean, there's a lot of things on the dark web that we have to understand happen. There are body parts being sold. There are babies being sold and given. Hey, how you doing, Patty Duke? Hey, welcome, Lady T. How are you? So basically what I started talking about was the Wayfair situation. So like I said, Wayfair has denied it. said that it's not true. We all know, those of us who, you don't even got to be that diverse in like internet and all that to know that there are a lot of things in the dark web that go on. And it would not surprise me if a third party uses Wayfair to sell um, things, as far as people, kidnapped people's bodies being inside of armoires, cabinets, or anything of that nature. It just doesn't surprise me in this day and age, because there's a lot of things that can happen. So I don't, I'm not quick to be like, oh no, that's not true. It's definitely possible. I think a lot of times, you know, businesses are so quick to go, no, 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 not us, because they don't want to lose that revenue, instead of investigating it first properly and making sure that this is not a practice that is happening. Because the problem is, like Amazon and many other places like that, they do have third-party venues. So you think you're ordering from Wayfair, and it could be somewhere, in Tel Aviv somewhere, that you're actually getting the product from. But Wayfair is promoting their product. And the same thing could be happening in this instance. The product could come from someplace else, but Wayfair is promoting it, not knowing that they are actually, kidnapping people, and people are purchasing other human beings through their app. So I just think, it's nothing to, hey TC, how you doing? It's nothing to disregard. It's just, it is what it is. I think that the people at Wayfair and the FBI and whomever else need to just investigate it to make sure that this is not happening. And that means chasing down IP addresses and all of that stuff, like really getting deep down and involved in the criminal part of it and the cyber criminal part of it, then that's what they need to do before they come out and quickly be like, oh no, it's not true, it's a hoax, it's actually, there's no basis for that. People were using it, making it up on TikTok. I just can't see. I mean, that would be a lot. That would be a lot. To really make all that up out of nowhere would really be a lot. So I definitely would push for Wayfair to investigate that, to make sure that that's not happening. Because if it in fact it is, or they do find out really that it has happened, then yeah, we have a larger problem on our hands. I mean, people have been stolen from, babies have been stolen from hospitals and given away and adopted, and then later found out that, somebody stole them at birth. So it is not far-fetched. And I wish people would stop, making things out to be like, oh, that's not, it's possible. Just because, you may not think that it's possible, it is actually possible that people could be doing this. There are a lot of women and children, male and female, being kidnapped. So, I mean, what other reason could there be? There was the one incident where the Chinese, it was a while ago, but there was a Chinese man had grabbed the kid and he had him in his restaurant, and the people noticed because the kid was yelling and saying, hey, I don't know you. They followed him into the restaurant and made him give up the child. So I mean, it's not far-fetched, people. We have to understand that these things, as much as we don't like to believe them, or don't want to see them actually happening in our everyday life, these things are happening. Hey Casey, how are you? Welcome. So yeah, just be mindful. That's all I can say. In this day and age, we definitely have to be watching out for each other, and making sure that we all are safe. If there was ever a time to have a village, this would be that time. When you're going places, especially women, please make sure that you are going with a group. You're not by yourself. Although everything is locked down, there are still, open opportunities for people who deal in these type of situations to abduct people. So just please be mindful, be very aware of your surroundings, especially now more than ever, and just be safe. I mean, that's all I can say, is that my prayer is that, we all stay safe as possible. I mean, we can't, stop everything from happening, but we can put in place measures to at least have some sort of safety. So that is my hope. But yeah, it's really sad and unfortunate that these people who are missing could possibly being sold allegedly on sites like uh, Mayfair and others, other sites. Because who knows? Amazon could be doing it too. We don't really know yet um, who all is a part of this web. I personally know that Amazon has third party people that you buy products from, and when you have a complaint, or the product doesn't come, or it breaks, or doesn't look right, when you go to complain, they go, oh, well, yeah, you got to go to, you send this, email this person. And I'm like, well, I got it through you. Oh, no, it was a third party. So, a lot of times they will support a product and put their name behind it until a situation happens. Then they want to backtrack and go, whoa, 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 no, that's not our product. That product actually comes from this person. So that's all I'm saying. We need to just be mindful. Hey, Tabitha, how are you? Good evening to you as well. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on the that? Do any of you think that it's true? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that it's possibly happening, or a 2 in the chat if you don't think it's happening, or a 3 in the chat if you're just like you're kind of either way, kind of both sides. Like, I believe it, I don't believe it. I'm just curious to know what you all think. And welcome to everybody in the skybox who is watching from the bleachers. Please make sure that you hit the thumbs up button, please, and thank you. But I'm curious to know what you guys think on that particular situation before we move forward into some political waters. Because I definitely wanted to get that out there, because I know that a lot of people aren't really talking about it. And if they do talk about it, it's like, oh, well, it's not true moving forward. But I definitely think that we, especially as people of color, we definitely need to dig deep into a lot of things, because a lot of things are happening. People with money move things, and they quiet things real quick. Take a look at Harvey Weinstein. He had his lawyers cook up a nice little deal to keep everybody quiet, so nobody can talk about, anything that other than all the stuff that they've already talked about during the trial, that they could not go forward and talk about anything else, or go forth with charges towards anybody in the case, as far as any other directors, anybody working with the Weinstein Company that may have been involved, anybody who later may come along and say, hey, that happened to me. Those women gave me courage to tell my story. He nipped that in the bud too. But the judge actually denied his proposal for the settlement. It was like $18.8 million. It was a fund for the victims. There was actually a fund for himself. It was like $1.5 million for himself, for any new legal obligations or things that may come up with people who were not in the lawsuit, saying, hey, that happened to me, like I said. So they would be like, oh, nope, can't do that. So I don't know. It's just money. We know in this day and age, money rules a lot of things, and there's a lot of people with it, and the more money you have, the more things you can get done. It's unfortunate, but it's very true. We have to be mindful of that. We cannot just lose sight of, half and half. I feel you, Starbell. Half and half. I feel you on that. But we can't lose sight of that. So, yeah, and moving forward, just be mindful. Be mindful of, where your children are, you know, and even if you got to explain to them, even if they're older, hey, I'm not trying to get in your business. I just need to know where you are at particular times. So I'm aware of where you are and what you're doing, who you're with. I know when I was younger, it would irritate me. My mother would be like, where you going? Who you going with? Oh, no, I don't know them. You can't go. And, I'd be mad, but I never, it didn't dawn on me that, hey, you don't know these people, something could happen. And then what? As a kid, you're just thinking, oh, I just want to go because they going, and I ain't thinking about that. But, the older you get, you realize, okay, it was a safety precaution that, hey, if I don't know their parents, I haven't interacted with them, I don't know this child, I don't know what could happen. And I'm not just going to release you to do whatever, and God forbid something happens. So, yeah, I'm thankful for that now. But, of course, as a kid, I was like, lady, what's wrong with you? Hey, how you doing, Antonio? What's going on, sir? And I will also put the link in the chat for anybody who wants to come on. You are welcome to, because of course you are the co-host for tonight. But yeah, your mom wanted to know who and what, when and where, and phone numbers. Yeah. And this, when I was a youngin', cell phones was like just coming in, so she had to have your house number. She had to know your people in order for me to go somewhere. As adults, we have to be careful at exotic places too. Yeah, very true, TC. We definitely, I know a lot of people like to go to Turk and Caicos and hedonism in Jamaica, just to get away and do things. But hey, there are a lot of things happening. There are other people there who are looking for people, even, people always talk about, going to Paris. I would love to go to Paris. I watched, what was that? Taken 2, was it? No, Taken, the first one, where they were in Paris. It was the first one, yeah. Where they were in Paris, and it was just like, wow, and, it gave you the heebie-jeebies a little bit, but to realize that something like that really happens, and now you see it, and a lot of times we, go to the movies for entertainment, and we don't think of it being actual reality. And now that we see it in our faces as a reality, that people are actually being kidnapped and taken to be sold to other wealthy people, to have at their beck and call or whatever. It's scary, it is a bit worrisome, especially, me having nieces, a nephew who is a teenager, about to be a young adult on the verge, but my nieces are practically grown. So, it just makes me nervous. And, of course, we have pretty genes, so of course they're beautiful, all of them, boys included. But, it really just makes me nervous that we have to really be careful and not take things for granted, because it really is serious out here. Really, really, really is. But yeah, so that trafficking mess is a big deal, and I hope Mayfair, Wayfair, whatever it's called, gets their act together and they clean that up and really investigate what they need to. Oh, we have a guest. What's going on, sir? Hey. How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm well, sir. I'm well. Yeah, just here talking about that. Any thoughts on that, or were you just
Why do I
calling
hear
it?
two of them?
Two of who? Two of you?
Hold on, something's wrong. I hear multiple things. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, you might have something on in the background.
You know what I did? I had both of the windows
Yeah,
open.
close one.
Sorry. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
Good and you.
Do you just hear one person now?
Now I just hear you because I heard something about Wayfair, and I was like, no, we already passed this.
Right. All right. So that's that. Moving to some political stuff. I don't know, unless you wanted to talk about that, which
Do I think it's true? Yes.
do you think it's true?
Yes, because of course, in the world we're in today, we know that there are people that do that. Like you said earlier, there's people who do organs on the black market.
Right.
They have to get more creative, and honestly, this is extremely creative. The fact that somebody caught it is that probably shook that whole industry up. So now they're like, okay, take it down.
Right. You ain't seen have you seen a commercial? Have you seen a commercial?
No, I haven't seen the commercial. They have a commercial
all the time. No, I mean the Wayfair commercial. You know.
Yeah.
Like that. I've seen every day. Every day I would see one that popped up. All of a sudden, all the commercials got pulled. I haven't seen one yet. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen one.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, we already know it exists.
I mean, it's not far-fetched, and I don't dibble in conspiracy theories, but I do. Hey, I don't put nothing past nobody.
Remember in DC, how many girls went missing in a matter of 3 months? Like 2 or 3 months, it was like 50 or 60 women just went missing.
Right.
I was like, we kind of know where this is going.
Right. I mean, they had posters and things up like, oh, come here. You want to be a model? We're paying this amount of money. Come here, meet me here. They even did a sting operation on it with one of the news channels where they, called the number, set up the thing, met the person, and the person was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no, is this your name? Is this who we call? When the cameras was in their face, I don't know what you're talking about. So it's not far-fetched. This stuff does happen. It's unfortunate and sad, but
That's a predator.
Catch a predator for real.
You sitting in the living room and the guy just come around the corner. So what are you doing here?
Right. Were you trying to take these cookies home? No, you weren't. He was not trying to take me. So yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just crazy, and it needs to be that they need to do a better job at really searching for these cyber criminals that are actually participating in this. You too worried about other stuff, and you need to be focused on this type of cyber criminality as well, because it's just as important.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's not that important when it's not little Becky.
It's not
right.
People.
When it's not little Becky or Haley getting snatched up. But I don't know. It's just unfortunate either way. Moving past that, though, there's been some developments about your good old president. Okay, so I'm gonna briefly talk about his niece and her tell-all book. Only because
I haven't found her in the Hudson yet.
Right. Only because I just feel like it's like the boy crying wolf. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid at this point. It's like, well, why now? I mean, all this time, a whole 4 years,
and you wait to the end.
Running, you could have came out and said something. Now all of a sudden you have this moral obligation to say something and make money while you're saying it.
Well, you got to think about who we're talking about. My guess is some money was supposed to get handed around to be kept quiet. They probably went up to him and said, look, if you don't give me what I want money-wise, all of it's coming out. And he probably just said no. Because, I mean, look who we're talking about. He probably just said no. He probably, you know what? Knowing him, he probably said, my followers will not believe you. And even if they do hear what you're saying, they're probably going to say, I did what I had to do to get where I need to get. Now look at me now.
Well, yeah, I'm sure about that. I'm pretty much sure. But I mean, the John Boltons and all that, it's just like, come on, you had plenty of opportunity to say something in the midst of an impeachment hearing, not even a trial, an impeachment hearing. First of all, the inquiry. Let's start there. The impeachment hearing, the impeachment trial. You had all these opportunities to come out with all of this information, and you all hold on to it. But the only thing that you both can agree on, as far as her and John Bolton, is that he is a horrible person and should have never been president.
A little late now.
A little?
I mean, thank you. I guess somebody said it, but I mean,
but it's an easy target for you to look for him to call you bitter, to call you the disgruntled employee. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, well, what benefit is it?
There isn't any.
It really don't make any sense. It's just like, you should have said something then. I would have counted you more of a patriot, as far as John Bolton is concerned, to say something then than to wait till now and say something. I think it's stupid. I think it's a waste of time. I definitely think we need to be focused on more important things like this coronavirus raging like nobody's business, like somebody's got a rash up their ass. I mean, it's crazy. And it's really sad that most, like especially Florida, which is a state in which you live in, and your governor, who's a good old Trump supporter, follower, and does everything and says everything Trump would say. I just think, like, what are we doing when we're not taking care of the people? Like, the people elected you, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth when this hits is, well, Florida's like God's waiting room. Are we fucking serious?
It's funny you say that. There's actually a retirement area here, and it's not called God's waiting room. It's called something else. But even for the people who live there, that's what they call it, because all the 60 and plus live there. And the one coworker who I used to have, she's not retired, but she's like 65 or something. And she said, yeah, that's God's waiting room. She said, there's an ambulance here every week. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
And this was before, this was like a year
pandemic.
ago.
Yeah, this is before pandemic.
When she said that. And I'm like, that's crazy. That would alarm me. But I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it would alarm me to have a governor say that out of his mouth in the midst of a pandemic. Like, oh, I'm not worried about it coming here. These people are going to die anyway. And it's like, now it's here and it's raging like nobody's business.
It's a complete lack of empathy. Like, you would really expect these political figures to have some sort of levelness to them.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing how much stuff is coming to light. Like, how many politicians just don't care, and now they're blatantly just showing it off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because they don't.
As if they just don't care about these people controlling whether they're in the seat or not.
Right. Well, I mean, they care about that. They just don't care about it up until that point. Like right now, it's like, I care, but I don't care. So it's like, a prime example, the debate about schools opening. Why is that even a debate?
It shouldn't be, but again, look who we have in the seat.
No, I mean, really, why is that even a debate? We're talking about children. Right. Children. You think a child is going to sit with a mask on all day? You could barely get them to do one thing, kind of repeatedly without going through the steps, like keep your mask on, keep your this on, tie the shoe, do this, clean that up. I mean, come on. And then you don't know what type of environment some of the children had came from. Then you're putting them in an environment with other children. Not only that, you're putting teachers at risk who are already underpaid and underfunded. So what are we doing? Like, it's really ridiculous, and I just, it makes me cringe. Like, November cannot come any sooner.
It's also down to a question of sanitation. Like we were saying the other day, in Japan, the parents walk up to the school, they sanitize you down. They give you you have to walk to the school in a mask.
Right, you walk to the school in a mask with your parent. Right,
and then they sanitize you outside the building.
Right.
Then they give you hand sanitizer, they brush you down, everything. Then they give you another mask, and then you go in
Right.
the building.
Right.
So again, this is Japan we're talking
They
about.
they check your temperature and everything.
Everything. This is Japan. You really think they're gonna do that here?
Right.
It's no,
Right.
no.
Right.
I'll be surprised if they hire another custodian. I I just don't see them keeping up with the cleaning standards if that was to happen. Like
Yeah.
it's
No,
it's
I don't
crazy.
trust me. I don't see it either, and I think it's unfortunate. Um, and a push to send the children to school for what? Because at the end of the day, let's be very clear. Right now, it's summer vacation. So where are you sending them to? Where are you sending them?
Nowhere.
Where are you gonna send them? I mean, what you gonna do? Make them go to school during the summer to make up for the pandemic? I'm confused as to what we're trying to do. Like, hey, what's up, Conscious TV? How are
Hey,
you?
conscious.
I'm just confused. Like, help me understand.
I don't understand who benefits here. We've already seen that schooling can be done at home. They did it back in March, April, May. It can be done at home. Children can learn at home. The teachers can teach from home. All of it can be done virtual. I do feel bad, however, for the parents who have 5 children, because I have a few coworkers who have about 5 children, and that's a lot of schooling and a lot of devices. And she's working from home, and they're all on the same internet, and everything is slow, and it's chaos.
Right. And then they're trying to talk, because I've had that too. You're trying to talk, you hear all that in the background, and she's like, I'm sorry, and apologize. And then it's like, no need to apologize. I understand. But I know on a working person, it can be a bit much.
Right.
So
I mean, yeah.
But the funding needs, no, you're fine. But then you need to make sure you create some sort of fund to where in which it would pay for something. You know what I'm saying? Like in the states where in which there's a somewhat of a decline, and there are some places willing to open and sanitize or whatever. You need to create some kind of fund where they could go, okay, I need some government funds to send my child to this facility here. It's suitable for me. I give it the okay. Okay, I can send my children there for a few hours. They can still go to school. I can work, and we can work out a system. I mean, you gotta at this point, you gotta think of something, because the more we sit around and nothing's being done, the more people are dying, and everything is going on. My great grandmother had to raise them kids before the school system. Well, that is very true, Conscious. Yeah, great grandma did have to raise them kids before, but we dealing with
talking about a different time.
Right?
We talking about a completely different time.
We are talking about
great grandma is completely different from mama now.
Right.
So, because you got some people with one child and they are stressed the hell out, and then you go back in the day, my great grandmother had 10 children, and the house was spotless. She handled everything. It's a completely different time.
Right.
But you are correct. It can be done, but it's different time.
Yeah, but again, we're dealing with different. We're dealing with a lot of modern things, easy access. You get from actually having to make a meal, or whip something up and get all these things, to just popping something in the microwave. We're microwave people. We've become microwave people, unfortunately, that everything is whatever is the quickest way to handle it. Cool, let's do it. And personally, and I've said it as the person I am, I think it's just a go to get at people of color and inner cities, because we'll be the most affected with children going to school. Them private school, like, them parents ain't sending they, and if they are, trust and believe, they're gonna have everything state of the art to where in which they ain't got to worry about it.
Every PTA, every homeowners association, they're gonna riot, shaking signs and all, cleaning the school.
They won't even let their child go, or they won't even give their tuition money, until they know the school is clean. You know what I'm saying?
Once they get to that point, they'll comply.
Right, but that's what I mean. They have backing in order to get what they need, so their children can be safe in that environment.
Right.
You're dealing with underfunded schools that barely have the equipment to teach the kids they got
That
and
is
feed
something.
them, and that they have and feed them.
Right.
So it's like, what? Like, there's apples and oranges here. We dealing with two different fruits when you're talking about
Right.
sending these kids to school. So I really don't, I'm just like, wow, I'm not a parent, but I tell you this, I I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I just wouldn't. I would not be sending my child to school not knowing the children he or she is about to interact with, whom they've been in contact with, if they've been exposed to the virus. We don't, as a people, as a group, we don't even know how it is contracted. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, we guess
Right.
it's through close proximity of some sort. Well, we're not really sure. One minute it's airborne, next minute it's not. 1 minute it's wear your, and now it's like wear your mask at all times. Even stores like Best Buy, they said when they reopen their stores completely, you will have to wear a mask in order to go into the store. Period.
Hmm.
So will this be a new norm?
That's actually still not a thing here.
What, wearing masks?
You're supposed to wear the mask when you're going businesses, but there's a lot of people that still don't do it. Well, no, I'm sorry, not a lot of people. There are still some people that
Yeah,
don't do
no,
it.
I know
Because
what
I had
you
to
mean.
go to the store earlier, and there were people in the grocery store with no mask on.
Yeah, but they feel like their civil liberties are being taken, and I'm confused as to why. Like, I would want to protect myself first.
Right.
And if wearing the mask is protecting me when I go into the store to grab something, then cool. Once I'm outside the store, that's my business. If I want to take it down, that's my business. But in that store, that everybody's breathing the same,
Right.
them ducts is whatever, and whatever's in them air ducts, been in them air ducts since the thing was built. And,
Literally.
I'm good.
That's why I try to avoid like Costco, and if I don't need to go to Walmart, I won't. I'll go to like a real quick store real quick and come
Mhm.
right back home.
Right. I mean, yeah, I do that. I just, I go to the store real quick and come back. I don't, it's not a thing for me to, if I need to shape up my own head, I will shape it up. If I need a good twisting to this head, but I'm not. I just feel like, for me, what's more important? If I can
Right.
do it myself or kind of get it done, or deal with it, I'll just deal with it until we get a better understanding of what the hell is really going on. Why not? Why not? I just find that to be crazy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But on a wellness tip, my thoughts on a few things. First of all, the woman from Glee. My prayers go out to her family. I think that was,
Yeah.
yeah, so
That's
sad and
sad.
unfortunate. Um, I don't even know, uh, like know what to say. It made me think of my own personal situation before I was born. I had an older sister than the one you met. Um, she unfortunately passed away because she drowned at the beach. But when my sister told me the story, because my mom always told me about it, but she didn't, go into details because she did. But when I, was older and my older sister actually went into detail about it, when they started talking about it, it made me think of that, and I was just like, wow, like, just wow. The water does really damaging things to the body, and it's just really sad. It's just really sad. So, like I said, my thoughts and prayers go out to her family, and the cast of Glee, and I don't know. It's a lot. Like, what I'm saying, and then dealing with all this, it's a lot, and we have to learn to definitely be grounded in a source, and definitely, stay grounded and stay focused on that source. And there will be times where we may deviate, but hey, you got to kind of bring it back, because it's so much. I mean, we have hangings that they're calling suicides. I mean,
It makes no sense to me. No sense to
it
me.
really doesn't. It really doesn't. And the fact that they keep saying it as if we're supposed to believe that, the people that, if not for nothing, a lot of our grandparents have come from the South. We may have grown up in northern cities, but our grandparents and great grandparents, they are from the South. And if there's any story that you may have heard once or twice, you may not have known the person, but there was always, hey, this used to happen. People would get lynched. Yeah, I've heard about so-and-so getting lynched, or this happened, that happened. There was always a story. So we've always had that. So to this whole thing where, these some young adults and children are just going to trees and hanging themselves is ridiculous to me. And I really wish they would just stop quickly just saying, oh, suicide, and moving right along, and instead of investigating it completely as it should be investigated. I just think it's ridiculous. I really do. I just think that they definitely need to
Didn't the report say as soon as they get on the scene, they immediately say suicide?
Yeah, like they don't waste no time. They just suicide, bam. They don't. What the problem is, they don't want the backlash. They don't want the protesters. They don't want, the Black Lives Matter groups and all that kind of stuff coming to their little town, disrupting their town. So they'll quickly say, this is what it is, and move it right along. Or sometimes they won't. Go ahead.
Wasn't one of the guys like 6'2",
right,
hanging from a tree by an iPhone cord?
Right.
How? iPhone cords are 3 feet long, or like 6 feet, or that makes no sense to me.
You know how many iPhone cords I've broken? Okay.
Right, the little ends pull apart and everything.
I'm trying to figure out how this big, tall man could get under a tree, which they said that if he did hang himself, his feet would still be kind of sort of touching the ground. So it would have been hard for him to actually do that. So I'm confused as to why, instantly the FBI did not go, ding, let's look deeper into this. I get nobody wants to have all the cameras and the spotlights on them. Hey, what's up, Official D Spot? What's going on? To have the cameras and the spotlight on them, but it's at this point, it's like, yo, cut it. They deserve respect. They deserve to have a full examination of what's going on, a full examination of the whole scene, anything and everything, until you can completely say, yes, this happened. This is not even the first time. Remember that young kid? It was a couple years back. They found his body in in the gymnasium or something, and he was missing organs, and they stuffed him with newspaper. Right.
Yes, I remember that. Right. I remember that.
A couple months ago, they just came back out with that, saying that the town, the police department, the town, everybody worked as a cover-up. They covered up that whole story, the actual events, people that may have been involved. They covered all that up because they didn't want to have all these people jumping down in their town, disrupting their way of life because of this one incident. So it does not surprise me. And we're talking about cities which, especially the ones in Los Angeles, in California, where it's like, there ain't that many black folk like that. So it's like, why would you not investigate? Because it looks suspect. Just off break, it just looks suspect. I don't know any black person that's like, oh yeah, let me just go hang myself from a tree. I'll end it all. Because we know what that means. We know what that means. There's history to that. And nobody I know is putting their hands up for that. So I don't know. Definitely think that the things need to be investigated far more, because it's really getting to be a serious problem that, hey, if you don't start looking into it, things need to start happening now.
Well, the KKK is still labeled as a hate group. So, and I know that's one thing that they are definitely trying to avoid.
Yeah, but you'll label Black Lives Matter movement as a hate group.
Yeah, it's weird,
As a
but it also
terrorist.
shows what they value and what they don't. We already know that we're lesser stock to them. Well, stock. I did not mean stock, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. But I mean, at one point we were. So I mean, hey.
Yeah, we're not,
Um,
because I actually saw, because I used to work in the title industry. We were doing a deed in South Carolina, and we had to do some research, and we went back and we actually found slave deeds. It was it was yeah, it's one of those things where even though I wasn't alive at the time, of course, it still hit like, this is crazy. These
yeah,
like, it was hundreds of deeds, and I'm like, I could have been related to some of these people.
right,
Seriously.
right.
And that's what really hit me. I'm like, I don't like, these people just had one word names. They didn't have last names. Baby, like, it was just one word, and they just had prices and who they were being sold to. It was
Mm,
eerie to look at.
mm. Yeah, but and do you see how that moment made you feel
Right.
when people say, "Oh, that happened so long ago. I didn't have nothing to do with that," but you benefit from it. You benefited from it. You benefited from it now. It's like it's that same argument to where in which if a statue comes down and people say, "Well, okay, let it come down. He was a slave owner. He was a this or that. Let it come down." And somebody goes, "But no, that's a part of history."
Who's it, ma'am? You're proud of that history? Are you
But
really proud of that history?
yeah, they are because they're taught to be. They're taught to be. They're taught to be proud. The founding fathers of America who didn't
The
find
slaughtering fathers.
right, right. Like what did they find? It was already here. It was people already here, living here.
And that just makes me think of them right now trying to change the name of the Redskins, because you said the founding fathers, and that immediately just linked in my mind. It's
Right,
like, yeah, they didn't find. They came, they slaughtered, they made people sick,
right,
and now they're on reservations.
right. And then now you say, oh, that I mean, even some people were like, oh, it's been this name all the time. I don't know why they want to change it. What do you mean? It's derogatory. It's been derogatory. But I mean,
Right.
thank you for waking up. But it's been derogatory.
Okay, that's fine. Let's make Kansas City crackers.
No,
There we go. Let's get it. Kansas City crackers. There we
the Salt
go.
Lake Saltines. I mean, the Salt Lake Saltines. When you start doing that, you
The
know,
Houston Honkies. Let's get
the Houston Honkies. I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Right,
let's see how much y'all love this.
right, right. You won't like it then.
Washington Wonder Breads. Let me stop. But they're ridiculous.
They really are. They really, really are. I don't know. It's just very disheartening, and it don't help when you have actually a person from the top spewing the same shit, and you're just like, what in the what like, and you constantly keep doing it, and you really think that you're doing something. Like prime example, this Negro, and that's right, I called him a Negro because he's so oh, I can't. He makes my skin crawl. It's like, don't say nothing. But he said that because he had a good table, a good praising table, talking about police enforcement and him being the enforcer of the police. They're talking about the president, of course. And they went around praising him as always, because you got to praise him in order for you to sit at the table. And he said that he talked about his favorite city, Chicago, and
The
how
only one he knows.
if they don't stop the violence, he himself is going to come down to Chicago and he's going to make it right. By any means necessary. I'm paraphrasing, but basically that's what he said. He's going to basically send the military down like he did in DC and have them and instruct them to put their bayonets on their rifles. But dear God, thank you that there were some level-headed generals that said, no, please do not do that. Just keep them in your satchel, but do not put them on your rifles, because these military soldiers are not trained in protests or how to conduct they are trained in what they're trained in:
There
combat.
needs to be a whole psychology unit in, and it shouldn't even be the police anymore. There should be different ranks or different
Yeah, there
sections.
should be like a different, right. There should be like a community based.
Yes. For domestic disputes, they have a whole
right.
therapy unit, a whole
Right.
therapy unit or something. Or no weapons, they don't need them. For what? We came to settle things. Everybody calm down. You stay over there, you stay over there. Let's just discuss this.
You know, we the only country in the world, pretty much, where the police have guns.
I believe it. I fully believe it.
They have
I know in
batons.
India they got yardsticks that they whack the hell out of you with.
Right. They have batons. They have those caning stick things. Mm-hmm. They have tasers, if need be, but they do not have guns. There's a special unit that has guns, of course, that comes in like a SWAT, but the actual officers that you will see, up and down the neighborhoods and whatever, or if something, the urgent call, they don't have guns. So I'm confused.
Well, we're also one of the few countries that still allow the citizens to allow the citizens to carry guns. Not a lot of other countries still carry weapons.
No, we don't let all the citizens carry guns. We let
not all. No, not all.
No. I'm saying we let certain citizens carry guns, even if they are, even if they have the documentation to carry the gun. Still,
I get what
they are particular citizens. They cannot carry the gun.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that part. Because the FBI is part of the system. They're going to safeguard and trying to. Well, yeah, that's true too. TC, the FBI is. The whole Justice Department in and of itself. Justice is blind. Justice is blind. It sure is. Justice is surely blind until she lifts up that veil and see who she weighing the scale to, and then she be like, "Oh, okay." Like this morning, they killed that white supremacist this morning in I forgot what city. It escaped me, but that was their first execution since 2003. Yeah. It was their first execution since 2003. Excuse me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be executed not this morning, but yesterday. And they, the governor or the district attorney, somebody called in and canceled it. But he did get executed. I don't know.
What do it matter? I don't know. Something like that would just be weird.
That was a bit weird. I don't know, because usually
don't kill them today. Wait till tomorrow morning.
The day they go, and it don't even matter. But then again, they have been people of color, so I don't know. Maybe it was just a white privilege moment that he got. I don't know, but
he got an extra 12 hours.
Right. But he said his last words were that he did not do it, and that they were killing an innocent man. So we'll see what all that means. And I don't know what this is that's popping up on me. Excuse me.
Didn't one of the KKK Grand Wizards or something die the other day?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about it.
I'll have to look it up and I'll bring it back up later. But I thought I saw it somewhere.
But I would not be surprised. A lot of them old fogies need to go on. Go on and realize that the person that they was sitting at this, when they actually get to have it, they see, oh, it's another dark man. Oh God. It's so sad. I don't know. It
just confuses me how people can hate other people so much just because of the way they look. Like it just.
Well, that was a way to keep people to keep the control. It's like if you have all these people that are kind of in the same boat, you have to make some people in the boat, make them feel like they're better than the other people. So at least you have some leverage over any kind of uprising. So you say, hey guys, you at the top deck, you're better than the people at the bottom of the deck. Cause look, you can see, you could be outside, you could walk around, you got your own big, you got your own private suites. And people down at the bottom of the boat, look what they sleep and they got a one little window. You're so much better than them. And it's just a mindset. I mean, you have people in those states that are like red belt or whatever. There are some people that are like poor, like poor. But they vote against their interests all the time, mainly because they look at the liberal or democratic
agenda
way of life as helping us. Well, I don't want to help them. I don't want to do nothing for them.
Because there's a lot of white people that'll say things like, oh, the liberal agenda this and the democratic agenda, and they're just trying to get free money from the government, and I work hard to make my money, and you're just trying to get free money. And like, ma'am, what?
They get free money too. It's called subsidy. They just changed the name. Just like when food stamps was regular food stamps, and then of course they started to feel some type of way about it, so then they changed it to EBT. And when you had the little papers with different color money looking like Monopoly, then they put on a card to make them feel better about using it, because now they feel like they're using a credit card. I mean, it's all, it's all a thing of like, again, you're better than them. You may not be better financially because you're not, but as long as you have a sense of being better, when you can go to the nation's capital and see all these monuments and statues of people that look like you, you feel like, what? My people created this. My people made this, which is far from the truth.
Right. Oh, back earlier to what you said, where the certain people who are poor voted against their own interests. Yo Hughley actually said something about that. He said if you voted for Trump, you like white supremacy more than you like your feet, because Donald Trump is just trying to get rid of all the health care.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Like, prime example, the senator out of Louisiana, Joe Kennedy, right? He was on Sean Hannity on Monday talking about the people who was opposed to the children going back to school, that they could kiss his ass. I'm like, kiss your ass though?
Wow.
You are a senator. You are an elected official. And the words that come out of your mouth from somebody who opposes children being put in a position that they could then get terminally ill, right? Because then you put all children back in school. You have some children that have immunity diseases. You have some children that are battling cancer. You have children that are battling all kinds of diseases. And to put them in a situation in which they could possibly check out of here, it's like, are you serious? Children.
It's ridiculous.
Like, what the, and for you to be, because of course, Sean Hannity is like Trump's puppet. So of course, or vice versa. More likely, I think it's vice versa. Whatever Sean Hannity says, he'll bust out his mouth and say it on the morning show the next day. But anyway, he says all this, and I'm just sitting there like, were you looking for brownie points from this from the president or something? Like, I didn't get the fact of you saying that it made you feel I don't know, statement like you felt like a statesman because you could come out your mouth and tell other people to kiss your ass because for anybody who was opposed to children going back to school in the midst of a pandemic, with the numbers spiking the way they have, with the governor of Florida finally telling the real numbers, and every day they're higher. Every day he's reached a high point for coronavirus cases. Not necessarily deaths, but he could be covering that up too. So it's just like, man, whatever. November, vote, vote, vote. That's all I can say at this point.
Is it okay? So the presidential one is this year. So doesn't the governor one come the year after, or is it the? Because I know they're.
Yeah, some of them are split. So there's the presidential. There's some senators and some Congress members who are up for re-election this year. Some won't be up for re-election until the midterms, but some are up now. So those that are up now, my hope to everyone in those particular states, like Lady Graham, Lady G, Lindsey Graham, that diva, who has backtracked now all of a sudden, talking about, oh, he wants to let Robert Mueller testify because, of course, he thinks in his diva of a mind that he can discredit Robert Mueller. But his slow ass probably didn't realize that Robert Mueller does not work for the FBI or the Justice Department any longer. He is not a special prosecutor at this point. So if he does testify, he could say exactly how he feels with no repercussions of like, I can't say that, that's classified. At this point, it's over. And if he wanted to say, yeah, Trump did it, he lied about it, here's, if you turn the page so-and-so, I said it clearly here, and I could actually go further because here's the rest of the details. Right. So I don't, it'll be fun to watch because I'm waiting for it. But I just think, at this point, everybody's going to try to outshine somebody else so they can get brownie points for votes. Like I said, Lindsey Graham is running. Jamie Harrison, who is his opponent, his Democratic opponent, is gaining steam on him. Like Lindsey, his little tight panties, he's worried. Okay, he's worried. He done backtracked on that. He done backtracked, agreeing with Dr. Anthony Fauci about the pandemic and that we should, be taking it seriously. He's about to do a whole show and dance real quick. But
try to act right before it comes.
Yeah, and I hope the people of South Carolina get out and vote, whether it's absentee ballot or you just put your damn mask on and stand in the line.
And that's honestly what I plan on doing.
Because
I heard the mail-ins have been coming in late. So
that's what they're trying to do too. Right now.
Right. So I'm like, let me just stand in this line.
Yeah. Right now, the president is going back and forth with the United Postal Service, but that is that's the goal. Because if they underfund the Postal Service, that slows down your mail, which bam, you're not going to get that absentee ballot in time.
Yeah, let me mentally prep for this.
Right. I mean, we're going to be dealing with a 2000 Gore and Bush thing all over again. Like, it'll be absentee ballots. It'll be a shipment just came in. Oh, there was a shipment in a closet, in Florida somewhere.
Check the truck.
Right. It's gonna be all that. With him, not only that, but with him, as far as the president, probably even doing a stand down, not necessarily not wanting to leave because they can force him out. Because once he's whatever, everything changes power immediately. Like all that other stuff is just for showing circumstance for the people, kind of thing. Like once they say president-elect, everything changes over. Like the codes, everything. He just in the house, just there. Right. Getting ready to leave. So I don't know, but like I said, this is Very much going to be a very interesting thing. How do you feel about the people who don't participate in voting at all? I believe they do. They do themselves a disservice. They do the country a disservice. And it's like, for me, if you don't vote, then you don't have a voice. So then I don't want to hear you talking about anything. I don't want to hear you talking about unarmed black men or women being killed at the hands of the police. I don't want you to be talking about inner city violence. I don't want you talking about nothing. I don't even want you you working and getting a paycheck is even too much, because
they can't complain about the current president either, because you didn't vote. So every vote that you didn't do automatically goes to him.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But that's what they bank on that, and that's what I try to drill into people's heads. They bank on the fact that if they spew enough of this craziness, of this when they start talking out the side of their faces and doing all that, and oh man, a vote don't count anyway. They put in who they want to put in. No, if you don't vote, the person that they want in gets in easier when you don't vote. They know the problem is they know that the inner city areas of these particular cities are going to show up and vote. So they know that they're going to, that the Democratic ticket is going to get, say, like a New York City or a city in Miami, like a county in Miami that is probably like Miami-Dade or something like that. They already know that. So what their counterparts do is they make sure they come out and they go and vote. So them old people that you be like, what they going? They are at the polls.
They are. They make sure.
They're at the polls beforehand. They're at the polls early voting. They're at the polls. They do not take it for granted. If they know that this election season, they know that especially those Trump supporters, they know that their candidate may have a possible. They're going to make sure they go out and vote. There was a GOP person right now who's actually being investigated because he voted like twice. I just had it up. Hold on. He got busted. Congressman charged with 3 felonies after illegally voting with a fake address. So I mean, it's like,
okay. So now that he's caught, what does that mean? Does that mean he has to, like, what's the repercussion for this?
Now, see, this is the problem. When you're dealing with a president that likes to throw pardons out like they're Skittles, for actual criminal wrongdoing, for actually like illegal shit, that is crazy. And I even think, and call me crazy, but I think that he made sure that Michael Cohen got back in jail because he found out that Michael Cohen was being released because of the COVID-19.
Most likely.
I just think he did. The story is that he did not follow the guidelines because he didn't want to have a monitoring bracelet. But the reality is Michael Cohen's lawyers say that they wanted him not to speak to the media, not to do anything, but just basically stay in the house, not say nothing, do nothing, because it was infringing on the fact that he was still an inmate. Even though he was at home, he's still an inmate. But what made me think that, okay, maybe some other people in the Justice Department and whatever had something to do with putting him back in jail is because simply they can do the same thing in jail. He can write a book in jail. He can do interviews in jail.
Yeah, they can come visit him in jail.
They can come visit him in jail and do a tell-all book. They can call him and get interviews. So him being home has nothing to do with that. Y'all just created something, and then when he said no, he didn't want to do that. They instantly was like, you know what, we're gonna get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, put him back in jail. But meanwhile, you commute Roger Stone, who lied not only to Congress, he did some underhanded stuff with witness tampering, evidence tampering. He did a whole heap of shit. Talking about something he didn't want to turn on the president. He's no rat. What are you, what are we, the Godfather? What is he, the Godfather now? Is that what we doing? Goodfellas?
I honestly think
No rat.
higher. All right, it was Jimmy the Hat, Mickey the Nose.
No rat.
But I really think that the higher you
What?
are,
Wait a minute. Hold up. Hold up. Please hold that thought. Please hold that thought. Oh my God. If you don't get your hind tail, sir, 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 sir.
well, read the comment under it. And Conscious is not 100%. I mean, based on the Electoral College, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I'm just messing, but but
So
listen,
what
yeah,
TT said though,
yeah,
what
no,
TT said.
I was about to highlight that.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, this year it is important. Your life, especially as a black man, as a black person, period, your life depends on this. Um, any other time when people say, I feel like voting, I'd be like, okay, I get it. You may not vote for the president, but please at least vote for your local officials. Your local officials is really what moves this train. People think that, it's the White House and, the White House says it and then it happens. That's not true at all. The governors are their own like the governor is the president of his or her state. Okay,
Just
so
like the mayor is the president of your city.
right. So if that governor does not like the programs that the president is pushing out, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican in the seat, really don't matter. That governor has every right to go, I don't like that program, but I'll take this benefit from that program, but I won't use the rest of the program. So there are a lot of programs like the Affordable Care Act that people say, oh, I hate the Affordable Care Act. Yeah, because in your state, all they decided to take was the part that made them money. But the part that helped you with your pre-existing condition and all this other stuff, they said, oh, no, we don't like that. So they opted out. And they have that option. So my plea to everyone is please vote. Your life depends on it, especially now at this moment. But more than that, the local officials are the ones who really decide, what programs you get, things that you can utilize. So it's definitely important to definitely vote local, more important than it is presidential. But in this time and in this environment that we're in, yeah, our lives depend on it. Trust and believe, you, me.
Sadly, I'm in a red state, and they are very Trumpy here. So I'm still gonna vote. But when he was going up for election, there were what's the word?
Everywhere. Yeah.
What's the what is it called when you have a bunch of cars with banners and stuff?
Is that like is
It's
that
a specific word for it.
tailgating? It's not like tailgating,
A
but
carcade or something, whatever. Either way, it was a whole bunch of women and mainly women with these Trump flags and yay Trump, and it was cars and they were all down the street, like they took over the whole area. Like so, I already know that Florida is most likely gonna vote red. So I'm still voting no. Still voting no.
please don't let it discourage you from voting. And that's as far as other people too. If you find yourself in a red state, please still vote. It is still important that you vote. It is still important that your voice is heard. We do need to get rid of a lot of the school board members that don't live in the school board district, but yet can tell your children what they cannot do or wear or how to wear their hair when they know nothing about it. We need to start putting more people of color in these school boards. And we really do, get some of these names changed. I don't know why we have names of terrorists or traitors against the United States as far as names of schools and streets and things, because that's ridiculous. I don't know if Germany has an Adolf Hitler Street or Auschwitz Avenue. I don't think so. So I don't know why we do, but I mean, I do, but I don't understand it because it doesn't make sense to me. But again, because you're white, you're right. And we need to change that. because that's, them days is over.
Didn't they, again, this is another thing that I saw pop up somewhere. Weren't they going to make another Black Wall Street?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Okay. So again, another thing I have to go back up and look.
I didn't hear that, but they should. They should.
I think they should
I know
too.
there was a banking finance company that they merged, and they I saw it earlier this morning, so please forgive me, because but I'll come back and put it in my probably in my community wall. But there's a huge finance company, Black owned. They've merged to become one of the biggest, and I thought, wow, that is a start to actually getting back to the era in which we did have, because we had banking institutions and finance institutions that were really big. But always what happens when they start to get a little jealous and want to put somebody in their place as if they feel they have the authority to, they do things. So yeah, I just find that to be ridiculous. But before we get out of here, there is something funny that I needed to share with you all that I thought, like, the hell?
Really quick, have you seen the videos of people? Have you seen the videos of people still in line at Gucci and all these racist big brands? And the people are walking by and they're like, yo, Gucci don't care about Black people. Y'all stupid standing in line. And the people are like ignoring them. Mostly Black people still in line at Gucci. And I was at the grocery store the other day and this guy had on a full Gucci outfit. And I'm like, bruh, do you not know?
They don't care.
And that's the problem.
People don't care.
Okay, sorry, go back to your video.
No. You're fine. You're perfectly fine. I agree with you. I just think it's unfortunate and sad that people don't care in this day and age. They really don't care. So we have a new Karen. Okay, she is crying and so disheveled because her car is being repossessed by a tow truck operator who happens to be a Black man. Let's look at the theatrics that this woman goes through, because she didn't pay her car note.
So, what you screaming for?
Really?
Yes.
The bloody murder, like somebody's harming her.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's gonna pass out. She got amazing lungs.
Yeah, she does. And he's trying to talk to her.
You done screaming? Can you tell me why you screaming? So, what you screaming for?
But yeah,
Ma'am.
that's just a little bit of I wanted to show, because I'm not going to give her even all that time. But I just find it to be because they know, you know what I'm saying? People are not stupid. They know exactly what'll happen. They know when they call the police is going to come. There's a possibility that it could go left and the person could wind up down. So you do all that hollering and screaming for what? When you owe on that Corvette and the company that loaned you the money to get it is saying, hey, you ain't paid us. I want my shit back.
Right.
They don't care nothing about no coronavirus. What they got to do with that? You still riding around, joyriding, going to the grocery store in it.
And you must, yeah. And even if you did call the police and they did do something, after that, they're still gonna take the car. Somebody just winded up dead because you wanted an extra 3 days with your car. Like, that makes no sense.
I mean, she hollered and screamed for like ever. I was just over it. I was over it. To YouTube, IG, and Facebook. Where are they already? Yeah, no, I know Black businesses are TC. I know Black businesses are everywhere. There are black businesses on Instagram. There are black businesses on Facebook, YouTube. There are a lot of black banks. But the point was that in a moment in time where we did have a lot of our own businesses and banking institutions like Black Wall Street, there became a moment where a mob of thugs took it upon themselves to get in dust crop planes, okay, and bomb businesses and killing over 300 people. And that's just reported. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they actually reported. I'm sure they killed far more people. So, and
a lot of people went missing too.
Right. And again, another story in which they don't really want to talk about, or they don't, they gloss over how it actually happened as if it just popped up out of nowhere. The same thing in Philly when they did that. It's just like you you cause all this destruction, you do all this, and then you sit back and go, well, that was before my time. I didn't have nothing to do with it. But you benefited from it. You benefited from it wholeheartedly.
Exactly.
So, it's time for a change. That's all. It's time for a change. And the change starts with us. And that's all I got to say about that. And on that note, thank you guys for hanging out with me for this whole hour. Thanks, Antonio, for popping on. I definitely appreciate it. Everybody is welcome to pop on. People be afraid to pop on. There's no drama that's going to happen over here. If it's drama, it's definitely just going to be about what's going on in the world and stuff. Although for another time, and Conscious, I'm glad if you're still in the room, this will be a good discussion to really dig into that Jada Will, August Alsina thing going
entanglement.
On. The entanglement, yes, the entanglement of them.
I'm sorry, that part was so funny when she said I got into an entanglement with August, and he said entanglement. Will was like entanglement, and she said yeah, and
like bitch, no, don't really no, say what it was.
Like entanglement, okay.
And his face told it all. His face showed every bit of hurt, as if he knew he was as if he was aware that maybe they, went out on dates and dated, but not that they were intimate in that regard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When he said August's name, he just said Aug. So I'm like, even that to me means that August was around a lot.
Yeah, like friend, like family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this was a lot more than even what she brought to the table.
Right.
It was way more to this.
Yeah, it was way more to it. And it was like he didn't know that it was that deep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they had did that much.
And then for August to say that Will gave his blessing, and for Will to say maybe he misunderstood what I said. I'm pretty sure that even that was a misunderstanding in itself.
But why would why would anybody do? I mean, really? Come on, that's like some Hollywood movie where somebody's like, "Oh, go ahead, you want to go ahead." Like nobody's really gonna let you just shawam their wife and just think like everything's hunky dory, and then you wind up catching feelings because she doesn't want to be with you.
Right. And then I also want to know when Will said I was done with you, I want to know what happened. I mean, I'm not usually into celebrity drama, but I think that was interesting when Will just say, yeah, I was done with you.
Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. I want to know too. And then
they've been together for a really long time, and everybody always thinks everything's good. So
right. But then who caught when he said, I'm going to get you back? And she said, well, you already got me back. And he was like, well, yeah, that's kind of true. But yeah, I kind of did. But I'm going to get you back.
See, it's so much more. But you know what? Kudos to them for keeping it out of the media.
Yeah.
August brought this to light.
Yeah.
Nobody would have known.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I give Jada and Will respect, because no matter what happens in their house, it stays there.
What'd you say, Conscious? I think it's only that deep for entertaining herself with a young tenderoni until she figured out the crap. Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
It was
She said
almost,
she just wanted to
you
feel
know
good.
what? To be honest, it was almost like she really lived out her role in Girls Trip. Remember
The
her role in
grapefruit.
Girls Trip?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's just what she did with August. That's why Queen Latifah was looking like the way she was when they was at that premiere. Like,
I did see that picture. She looking. Wow.
I
Yeah.
see.
It's,
It's
like I
crazy.
said, they get kudos for keeping all of their stuff out of the media.
Yeah.
All this to light. We would have never known any of
Nope.
this unless August didn't say anything. So
Nope.
they at least get props for that.
And I don't think it was years ago either. I don't think it was years ago. I think they say years just to put some distance between it. But his face looked like he was drinking all night, crying all night, everything, and just put it together, put his acting face on as best he could to actually do this dialogue, red table talk with her. Because you could tell when she said entanglement, and he was like, "A what?" No, he was like, "No, say what it was." He was like, "No, I'm gonna beat you how you are with some guests and be like, say what it was, say what it was, because it wasn't no entanglement. What was it?" Yeah, right.
I remember when they said that they were already arguing and headed for divorce. She was broken and so was he, and she spent her time fixing him. Well, yeah. That's
Well, again, he said himself. Well, they said together that you can't fix someone. You have to, go and fix yourself and,
right.
get yourself together, and then you can come back and and maybe that's what they were doing. But while they were doing it, she was getting fixed, I guess. Who was doing the fixing? Oh, you doing the bending. Who's doing the bending? And he caught feelings. I mean, he's a little old to be catching feelings like that in that kind of way. That's like, when you're younger and you have your first older kind of girlfriend situation or whatever it is you do, and you get in that place where it's like, I'm in love, and they're like, yeah, it was cool. And
she did say he was broken at the time. So if August was already in a vulnerable spot,
he was like going blind, and all types of shit was going on. So it was like, and for them to help you to the point where to get you the medical attention and stuff you needed, so you don't lose your eyesight and shit, and use their money and resources. It's like, come on, man, you really had to sleep with the man's wife, though. And I think that's probably where Will was the most hurt.
Yeah. I mean, she was a willing participant. So
yeah,
I mean,
she was a willing participant, but still at the same time, you could be like, what I'm saying, and that's what. There's accountability on all levels for everybody, but at some point too, as a man too, you could be able to say, even if she is throwing it at you, hey, no, I'm not gonna. You guys have done so much for me. I'm just gonna walk away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this whole macho man thing that somebody throwing it at you, man, you better take it. You got to take it. You're a man. Man's supposed to take it. Like, nah, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You could have some standards about yourself and really decline and be like, you know what? No, I'm very thankful for what you guys have done. The doors you've opened up for me, but I can't. I don't know. That's just me. That's just my thoughts. But what?
I don't know. Hopefully, well, they probably won't. They're probably just gonna leave it at that red table, and it won't even be discussed anymore. It's gonna be a meme for a week, and then it's gonna disappear.
Oh, was he? And the fact that he was Jalen's friend—that's horrible. First time in your chat, entanglement, but no, they even have a picture of her with a perfume bottle talking about entanglement. It was hilarious.
When your husband ain't doing it and you need somebody else, entanglement.
That's crazy. That's better than Heat by Beyonce.
Right.
Oh, you spray them both on, you get entanglement and Heat. Oh, you in for trouble, I guess.
We're going to take this to the red table.
I do not like open relationships. I'm not an open relationships person. I'm just like, no, I don't know. That's too much. Because somebody, again, like in this situation, somebody is going to start catching feelings more and wanting to, pull that other person to them and have them for themselves. Now, it could have been to where in which, when this was first going on, maybe it was an open thing and, maybe Will was all for it. But
wasn't that the rumor for so long that they had an open relationship? That was like the rumor for years.
It was, and that they were swingers and stuff. But then you know what they did? They went on the red table and they started talking about their relationship and said, "No, we're not swingers. We don't have an open relationship." Blah 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 blah. So it started to be like, was you lying?
So, when August said what he said, they initially lied and said nothing happened. Well, that was the very first thing.
She did.
Yeah. And then I guess.
But then I guess they finally come clean and say, because maybe he had evidence.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
His video, all of it. Okay. And he saw the video. That's why Will was looking like that, because he seen the video. Okay. So they couldn't.
Can't deny it for too long.
Yeah, they couldn't deny it.
Because August and Kiki Palmer got into it too.
Oh, she was like, what the gag is. She shut him down in a nice way too, though. I thought that was funny. Of course, the Smiths are not swinging, liars, swingers, crowds, belly floppers, running around, jumping around. Who knows? They could be. Who knows? I mean,
she said no, she didn't. She didn't cheat on Will, which Will also stated. Okay, so they were separated at the moment. So
well, yeah, they said that technically they were separated during this whole thing and situation.
They also never said how long they were separated. Like, there's a lot of pieces that are not being filled in.
Yeah, but
how long did all of this?
I think
that entanglement be tangled.
Right. I think in that first situation when they were saying that they took a break and kind of worked on what made. He tried to figure out what made him happy. She was figuring out what made her happy. I think during that time, that's the split that they nicely said, finding what makes somebody happy. Now, when you have money like the Smiths, you can go away and find what makes you happy. But, those of us who don't have Smith money, you gotta figure out what makes you happy before you get involved. Because if you don't, you shit out of luck.
Yeah, seriously.
They take your ass to the grocery store for about an hour or two and kind of figure it out.
I'm about to go walk around Walmart. I'll be back.
To figure it out, bring your ass back. Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't do open relationships. I just think it's a lot. Some people do, and they like them, and that's kudos. Hey, hands down.
I think it takes two very mentally strong people to realize that this is just what it is, which is physical, and then I'm gonna go back to my person.
Well, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta be. I think that I'll say this. I think it's cool if in the beginning you build a foundation between the two of you. Like, you're not going in this where I've just known you for 6 months to a year and you just know me for 6 months to a year. Then all of a sudden, bam, bam, we have an open relationship. No. Like, y'all been together for some time and built something. So, yeah, I think that's different. So, ain't no way, no how. But anyway, that's enough because I already ran my mouth again for another 35 minutes. But this was good. And thank you guys so much for your participation. For the content creators that popped in, thank you, Conscious TV. Thank you so much. Thank you, Patty Duke, for always being supportive. Thank you, TC, for your support. What else? And Nikki Jackson, thank you for coming. I didn't see you earlier. Sorry, I missed you. And if there's a question or a comment or something that I missed, please just put it in the comments, or a question that you want to answer. Put it in the comments. I'll be sure to respond. But like I said, thanks again for everybody coming through. Please make sure that you vote. Please make sure that you fill out your census. That is important. Please do so. It only takes a couple of minutes. Don't even fully take 10 minutes to fill out like 5 or 6 questions. So if you haven't done so already, please go to census.org and fill out your census. It is important to your community. It is important to you to make sure you get the resources and the representation that you deserve in your area. So with that said, and please stay because you like to dip off census. Like, stay for a second.
You didn't hear the bell ring? It's time to go.
You'd be like, bye. Phew. But with that said, everybody have a blessed night. God bless and good night. And I am out of here.